Today, let's take a minute and go over supplies that you need to make a homecoming mum. Things that I have is round backers. I buy mine at Arnie's in Houston in bulk, and you can see they're all the same size. To get all these different shapes, like this is a heart, this is a heart, I lay them into the shape that I need, and I will just staple them together like this. So easy. But that's the first thing. Cardboard mum backers. Probably the most important thing that you need is a stapler, but you need more than one stapler. I got this off of Amazon. It's a bow stitch. So typically only buy swing line or bow stitch staples. Just because I've been doing this for so long, I find that the generic staples tend to bend really easily and get caught in the machine when you're working, and you definitely don't want that. I also have just a regular stapler. The most important and the thing I get the most questions on, a long arm stapler like this. I got mine on Amazon also, and this is so that when you're stapling like the backs of these, you can reach into the middle of that big backer and staple. Look at this cardboard and look at how deep it can go. A long arm stapler. This one was about $15 on Amazon. Next thing that I use a whole lot of also is pipe cleaners. I use these pipe cleaners to attach my mum crown, which is the top of the mum, to my mum's skirt. I also use these to run through the center of my flowers, and then I put the flower through the middle of these. See, here's one stapled together like this, and then I staple it to the back for added security. So you definitely want some pipe cleaners. Dollar store. I buy them in packages at the dollar store. You can get them on Amazon. I have a huge drawer stuffed with pipe cleaners. Next thing that I also buy, I get this from Amazon. These are this brown cardboard. I'm gonna have to look up what the weight of these are. This is actually two stuck together. This is what I use to attach my mom's skirt to. And I know that a lot of people, when they're making mums, they will cut these into a strip and attach all their ribbons to that one strip. If I attached these gigantic skirts to that one tiny little strip, it would fold over and break. So I actually use an entire sheet on a big mum like this. Next thing you also need is a hole punch. I like to keep my just old school 3-hole punch, because sometimes you need to punch in the middle, sometimes you might need to punch in the side. So I just have an inexpensive 3-hole punch that I keep sitting nearby. The other thing that I always have laying out with me is I always have tape measures. I literally, my kids put these in my stocking at Christmas because I use them so much. I'm constantly measuring the lengths of my skirts, the widths of the ribbon, the lengths of my chains. I actually, not just a ruler or even a tape measure, but I always have a yardstick, because typically the length of your skirt ribbon is going to be about a yard. You might not have a whole full yard sticking out from the bottom, but that's usually about how much you need in order to create the skirt and have a top piece to staple to your mum backer, skirt backer, excuse me. Handy dandy glue gun. This one is cordless. I also bought this off of Amazon. I know Hobby Lobby carries these. I probably go through like 6 of these a year. This one's actually new. It only has a little tiny bit of glue on them. Usually the tips of mine are burnt and it's covered in glue because they are well loved. Thing that's super important is scissors, and you need different scissors for different tasks. So I talked about this last year. These are actually my super duper special astronaut scissors that my dad gave me. He worked on the Orion project, and his team built the parachutes and the parachute cords for the Orion project. And he has 3 pairs of scissors that were left from that cut those parachute cords while they were sewing them. So I have 3 of those scissors. This is one of them. These are pretty heavy duty, and I sharpen these once a year, or rather my dad sharpens them once a year for me. I only cut ribbon with these. Then I have another pair of scissors that I always buy something like a floral like this, and I try to keep these for just fabric, but also if you're cutting a fabric like ribbon, you can use these. And then I have a standard pair of scissors. I go through these like water too. I buy them on sale at Hobby Lobby, and these are my scissors I use for everything else. And if I need to cut wire, like the wire in the pipe cleaners, I only use this kind of scissors, or one specific pair, so I'm not dulling all my other scissors. That's everything I can think of today. If y'all have any questions, or if you have any tools or things that you use that I didn't mention that you think are super important to mom making, please drop it in the comments. I would love to hear. Have a great day. Thanks.